Okay, so we have seen about the pricing strategies that can be used for new products. Either you can go with skimming strategy or penetration strategy. In skimming strategy, you are charging high premium prices which can be reduced later. Okay, so you will attract the premium segment of the market. Then whereas in penetration pricing strategy, you will be focusing on, you will be looking for the mass market. So you will price your product at a lower than the competitors products, so that you will get a mass volume of market share, and after that you can capitalize. Okay, right. Now next we can write the heading pricing and product life cycle. Write the heading pricing and product life cycle. Okay, it's a very small topic as to how uh, you have to price your product during each stage of the product life cycle. Okay, so in the last class we saw that in the previous day we have seen that there are basically four phases in the product life cycle: introduction phase, growth phase, maturity phase, as well as last phase was decline phase. Okay, and in each of these phases, what could be the pricing strategy which you can adopt? That is what we are going to see. Okay, so I am writing here introduction phase, then growth phase, then maturity phase, then decline phase. Introduction phase, growth phase, maturity phase, and declining phase. Okay, in introduction phase, what would be the ideal pricing strategies? You can either go with skimming strategy, or you can go with penetration strategy. You know when to go with skimming or when to go with the penetration strategy, right? Penetration strategy. Okay, now that is the first phase. Now in the second phase, that is the growth phase, what you will do? In growth phase, your volumes are increasing. Am I right? So this is the phase of where you need to build market share. Build market share. So what you will do? If you are following skimming strategy, you will reduce the price. Okay, reduce the price. If you reduce the price, what is the advantage? Increase the volume. Okay, that will help you to get more market share. On the other hand, if you are following penetration strategy, what do you have to do? Continue charging low and build market share. Is it clear? You need to continue charging low and you build the market share. Now coming to maturity phase, what do you have to do? You have to, in case of maturity phase, if you are following skimming initially, okay, what do you have to do? Maturity phase will be full of competition. Am I right? Okay, so in case of skimming, if you are following skimming pricing, you need to match the price with that of the competitor. Okay, so if you are following skimming, what you have to do? Decrease the price. On the other hand, if you are following penetration, what do you have to do? Increase the price. Why increasing? To match with the competitor. Okay, now decline phase, what do you have to do? Decline phase, whether you are going with skimming or penetration, you need to cut the price plus retain the volume because it's going down. Okay, so what you have to do? You should reduce the price and you should try to retain the volume, but never incur any loss. In other words, you need to survive in the market. Okay, survive in the market. Now there is one more option for decline phase. Okay, decline phase, you can reposition or rebrand your product. Okay, that means your existing product has reached a level where it is saturated. Now what you will do? You will reposition your product. You will bring some changes to your product. It will be presented as a new product with new features, etc., etc. That is what Apple is doing. Apple is a great company with lot of innovations. So every period, its products is going through this product life cycle. The moment it feels that one particular product has reached the decline phase, it is coming out with new product. Okay, it is repositioning itself. Okay, rebranding itself. So in decline phase, either you go with the volume, you try to retain the volume by reducing the prices. That is a normal strategy. Or you should try to reposition or rebrand your product. So naturally what will happen? Shift to new product life cycle. If you have repositioned your product, then you are back to introduction phase because you need to start all along. So you are going to get all these benefits. Is it clear? Yes. These are the strategies to be followed in product life cycle. Okay. So you can write a note to this. The pricing strategies to be followed in growth, maturity and decline phases are dependent on the strategy adopted in the introduction phase. Okay, so in the introduction phase, the company is following skimming policy. So for all the remaining 3 legs of PLZ, it will be altogether different strategy. Whereas if you are following penetration strategy in the first product life cycle, then in the remaining stages, it will be altogether different. Okay, so the pricing strategies to be followed in growth, maturity and decline phases will depend upon the strategy adopted in the introduction phase, that is whether it is skimming strategy or penetration strategy. Okay, so that is with respect to the method of pricing the new products. Now next subtopic, a very small topic, you can write the heading: price adjustment policies. Okay, so what do you mean by price adjustment policies? These are methods used to reduce used to reduce or increase. Sometimes increase the price of a product after the price has the initial price has fixed and declared. Okay, what does that mean? Suppose A Limited has manufactured a product A. Okay, a new product A has been manufactured. It went on to the pricing strategies. It took all advisors, expertise. It done all analysis, and finally, this product was priced at rupees 100 per unit. A hypothetical example. Okay, and it is planned a production. Planned production of, let us say, 5 lakh units per annum. Now what's happening is, for each product, based on this pricing, for each product, they have a margin of, let us say, for 30 rupees per unit, which is considered to be a very high or very comfortable margin. Now, what's happening is, this is how the product has been launched. Presently, the company is selling, say, 25,000, 30,000 products. Just started only. And that is the time when a big company, say, let us say Reliance Limited, has approached A Limited. For what? Reliance is saying that it is ready to buy 250,000 units of A from A Limited. Okay, but at a price of rupees 80 per unit. See what's happening here. You have already fixed your price at what? Price at 100 rupees. And you are getting how much profit? You are getting 30 rupees profit per unit. Now, that is your plan was to sell up to 5 lakh units. Now you started slowly. You started introduced your product to the market. But you have reached a level where your existing demand is, say, 50,000 rupees or something like that. At which time, Reliance is approaching you and it is giving you huge order for 250,000 units of A. But with one condition. The company will pay only 80 rupees per unit, not 100 rupees. Okay. See, you want to get this offer or you want to accept this order. Okay. So, you want to accept this order because it's a confirmed order, it's a recurring order, and for 250,000 units, you are getting a margin of 10 rupee. Okay. In the normal case, you are getting 30, but here you are getting the 10 rupee margin without any efforts. Okay. So you feel that if you have not accepted this particular order, you will not be able to sell this much units without much difficulty. You will not be able to do that. Okay. So the company thought, I need to go with that. But the selling price is already fixed and it is communicated. So now you need to adjust the price. Okay. So there should be some mechanisms to adjust the price of a particular product or service after it has fixed the price. Say MRP has been fixed and informed in the market. Now it wants to reduce the selling price. What it has to do? It can follow various methods. And out of these various methods, one method is what? Trade discount. Okay, trade discount or quantity discount. What do you mean by trade discount or quantity discount? Okay, it is the discount given as an incentive for large quantity purchased. Okay, so Reliance purchased 250,000 units at one shot So the company is giving 20% trade discount or quantity discount to Reliance. So effectively its price will come down from 100 to 80 rupee. Okay, so this is generally this trade discount is given in homogeneous products. Sold in bulk quantities. What do you mean by homogeneous products? Means whatever quantity of A, whatever volume of A you produce, everything will be one and the same. You are selling what 2,50,000 units of A to Reliance. Okay, that is the order. Now suppose out of 2,50,000, 10,000 is one category, 10,000 is another category. Like that, you have 25,000. You have 25 different categories. Then can you call it as a homogeneous product? No, it is not a homogeneous product. In that cases, you cannot give any trade discount. It is not feasible because the product changes one by one. Okay, so if it is a homogeneous product and sold in bulk quantity, you can give trade discount or quantity discount. Okay, otherwise, if it is not homogeneous, don't you can't give a trade discount or quantity discount. Is it clear? Okay, right. So that is quantity discount. Another method of adjusting the price is cash discount. You all know what is a cash discount. Cash discount is reduction in price payable by buyer for what? For prompt payment of cash. Okay. Reliance asked a discount of 20 rupees on its quarter price. Your company is saying, A Limited is saying, okay, we will give you a discount of 20 rupees, but you need the order will be cash and carry. You pay the cash for 2,50,000 units, you take the order. Okay, cash and carry. So there is a prompt payment receipt from Reliance. If not, normally you should give 6 months credit or 3 months credit for other customers. So Reliance is coming here and he doesn't want any what you call any credit period. So promptly making the payment. So the company is giving some discount, which is what is known as cash discount. Okay, so cash discount will reduce the credit risk. What is credit risk? The risk that the person who has taken, who has to pay you money, will make a default. Reduce the credit risk of the seller. Okay, next. What is next? Distributors discount. Okay, so it is the discount given to various distributors. See, you are only manufacturing. You are not going to the market and selling your product. So for which you are giving these products to various distributors. Distributors could be wholesalers, dealers, or even retailers. Could be anyone. Okay, so it could be a wholesaler or a dealer or a retailer. So when you are providing any discount to the distributor, any of the distributor, such discount is known as distributors discount. Distributors discount. Okay, now one feature of this distributors discount is the percentage of discount reduces as the position of the distributor falls below the supply chain. Supply chain. See, if you see the supply chain, it starts with whom? The manufacturer. From manufacturer who buys? The wholesale distributor. Then from whom? It reaches to retail, the dealer. it goes to the retailer. Okay, so as the person who is getting the discount goes down the supply chain, the percentage of discount also reduces. If it is given to the wholesale distributor, maybe 15% discount, here it is 10% discount, and here it is 5% discount. Is it clear? So discount reduces, the amount of discount reduces as the discount paid, the person to whom discount is paid moves down the supply chain. Okay, right. So this distributor's discount is also referred as functional discounts, as these are given based on the functions done by these persons. Is it clear? Yes. Now another method of price differentiation is price adjustment is price discrimination. Okay, what do you mean by price discrimination? It means that charging different prices from different persons, customers. Okay, charging different prices from different customers. Normally, if you are selling a particular product to any customer, you should be charging single price. But that may not be the case in all the cases. There may be circumstances where you will be compelled to charge different prices from different customers. Okay, so for example, different customers could be based on type, based on location, based on time. Okay, based on these characteristics, how does the price changes? Based on time means seasons, seasonal pricing. In season where something is very much available in large quantities, the prices will come down. Whereas in seasons where the product is not available or it is scarce, the price will go up. So seasonal pricing is an example for the price discrimination based on time. Now, based on locations, what happens is export pricing, priced at higher or lower as compared to normal sales. That is export order. Now, based on type, you will charge different rates from different prices from institutions, versus individuals. From institutions, lower price. From individuals, higher price. These are methods which are followed by many. So that is price discrimination. Now another category is geographical pricing. Geographical price means different prices charged from the customers located in different locations or geographies. Okay, why different prices? Okay, mainly due to transportation costs. Transportation cost. Is it clear? Yes. So that's all with different types of the methods to charge different prices from different persons. After you have fixed the price, you want to adjust the prices. Either you can give the cash discount, or you can give the trade discount or quantity discount. You can provide the distributors discount. Then you can charge different prices from different customers based on the type of customer, or based on the location of the customer, or based on the time of delivery or time of sale. Okay, this strategy is known as price discrimination. Then you have something called geographical pricing, where different prices will be charged from different customers. Different prices will be charged from customers located in different geographies or different locations due to changes in the transportation cost. Okay, yes, right. So with that, I think some of these questions, the main concepts in this chapter is over. Now we will have to do a couple of problems. Before that, we will break for 15 minutes.